Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about NBA Youngboy. Now, NBA Youngboy has been going through a lot of stuff with this trial, trying to get his bond approved so that way at least he could be free while trying to fight this case from home. And some good news for NBA Youngboy and his fans and his family. It looks like NBA Youngboy finally got granted a bond by the federal judge today in Louisiana, and he's going to be coming home. Now, there's a guy I've been watching as far as these legal cases go down, man. I'm not an attorney, and he breaks them down great. His name is Lawyer for Workers. Check his social media out if you can. But, man, we're going to check out that clip, and we're going to talk about NBA Youngboy being free and what potentially this could mean for him, because there's a lot of rules and stipulations in regards to him being released. Now, before we get to that, though, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and, man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about this NBA Youngboy situation. It looks like NBA Youngboy is getting out, and he's going to be free on bond. Now, this doesn't mean that everything's already done. This doesn't mean that the trial is done. This doesn't mean that NBA Youngboy is going to be able to move like he did before or do the things he was doing before, because there's a lot of stipulations that go with his release. Now, NBA Youngboy is obviously one of the biggest figures in music and hip-hop right now. His fans and his following are humongous, and everybody just tracks what he does. And there's a lot of people who attribute what the sound that we have in music right now to NBA Youngboy and how he changed music dating back to like 2017. Now, there's a dude by the name of Lawyer for Workers who's been keeping up with this case, been going through the documents and the filings and each and every mention and order that's been put into court, and he broke it down precisely. So let's go to his take on this from social media, and then come on back for the commentary.
Boy gets a bond. He's going to get out about 15 minutes ago at 3:50 Louisiana time. Judge Shelley Dick of the Middle District of Louisiana granted NBA Youngboy a bond for the duration of his trial. There are certain conditions. He's going to be restricted to a residence in Utah. He's going to have ankle monitoring on. He cannot leave that residence for any purpose. Nobody can stay at that residence with him except for his family. There are limits on visitors. Only 3 visitors may be allowed at a time. Obviously, there are all visitors must be approved either by the judge or pre-trial. There's obviously a series of other restrictions like no guns, no drugs, got to subject yourself to drug testing. One of the key issues that the judge looked at in granting this bond was that the first time she had looked at it, the government presented evidence that an LAPD report that this guy was running from cops doing 80, 90 miles per hour. In fact, the real testimony came out. The cop who apprehended him, he was doing 45 miles an hour. The judge looked at that. Other factors, NBA Youngboy gets a bond. He's going to be at his house in Utah in a matter of days.
Now, as you heard right there from the guy, his name is Lawyers for Workers on social media, man. I use a couple of his clips, so I want to make sure y'all get his name. Now, basically, this is what it breaks down to. NBA Youngboy is released on bond conditions. So it sounds like NBA Youngboy is going to have a lot of restrictions. Like he has to go to this house in Utah. If you checked out my last story that I did about NBA Youngboy with the whole jail fight, that being an issue and stuff like that, when he was having his bond hearing earlier this week, they brought that up, the prosecution did, in order to kind of derail this, to make sure that NBA Youngboy stays in jail. But it looks like, man, NBA Youngboy and his legal team prevailed, and he finally got a bond. It's been several attempts at him getting a bond, and this time, I guess they wanted to make sure if they gave him a bond, they were going to make sure that he stayed out of trouble. So he's got to go to that house in Utah that he bought. I know some of you are thinking, man, what in the world? NBA Youngboy in Utah? Yeah, he has a house that he bought in Utah, and it's basically to be close to somebody who was a mentor to him throughout his life or early in his life. And, you know, I guess they're a good example for NBA Youngboy, because you got to remember, even though he just had his 22nd birthday, dude is still young in this rap game, and he's handling a lot of fame and stuff like that. I'm not trying to make excuses for anything that NBA Youngboy does, but man, this is a great break for him and his future in the rap game, because it looks like they have a studio that's already set up in the Utah home for him. So NBA Youngboy has to make sure that nobody with any prior convictions or anything like that show up to the house. His family can only be there and stuff like that. Now, he has a lot of kids and he's got a lot of family, so I'm sure they are happy about this news. Now, as the updates come out and we get more information on the story, we're going to break it down. But I'm pretty sure NBA Youngboy's fans are super happy because they were already saying earlier today, before this was announced and before it was official, that NBA Youngboy was coming home and he was coming free. I don't know if you want to call that positive motivation or positive thinking or, wishing things into fruition. But man, whatever it is, it definitely worked because NBA Youngboy at this time is about to be free. Now with that, hold up. What do you guys think about this, man? Do you think that NBA Youngboy being able to come home free and work in the studio and kind of just be locked down in that Utah place? Because remember, the Utah place that he bought, he actually has to have like this armed security guards, and they have these like credential checking points and stuff like that. I mean, it's really some interesting stuff if you really break the way I broke it down in the last video or whatnot. But man, do you think that'll be enough to make sure that he stays out of trouble, stays in the studio, keeps grinding, and make sure that NBA Youngboy is the success in the rap game that he's set to be? Not like he's not a success right now. Like I said before, he's done amazing things in this rap game, especially when you add in the fact that dude is literally the king of YouTube as far as hip hop is concerned. Now, this is great news, like I said before, for NBA Youngboy, his fans, his family, and everybody who's closely connected to him in some type of way, right? But what do you guys think? Do you think this will be a great way for him to stay out of trouble with all these, specifications on his bond? Or do you feel like it's going to hamper his ability to communicate and hang out with his fans? Tell me in the comments, man. And make sure you hit that like button. Oh, yeah. And before we get to any of that, man, hey, welcome home, NBA Youngboy. Now, with that, this has been your boy, Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this out content. And we out of here. Peace.